Hello everyone, welcome to another vlog. We hope you're all very well and you've had a wonderful November so far.
The footage that you've just seen is from Wales. We were there last week and weekend filming the final demonstration for our new online course, Back to Nature. So we were in the hills and the valleys in beautiful Wales, which was just a real, it was just a total immersion in
Yeah, it's a proper switch off from
nature.
City life.
Yeah, we had all sorts of different weather. We had lots of rain. We had one morning was incredibly cold. We woke up to sort of very thick mist or fog. Fog or mist?
I think it was fog.
One or the
That's
other.
like fog.
Across the whole valley, you can even see the sheep through it, and we went for some very sort of crisp, cold. It was actually really nice to feel cold. It felt
The
quite
first proper
Christmassy.
frost as well.
Yeah, quite a thick frost. And yes, we did lots of filming there, and made a beautiful foraged wreath. With lots of very interesting materials that we found in the forest there. So we really enjoyed doing that, and we're just so thrilled to have completed the demonstrations for Back to Nature and to share them with everyone.
So Back to Nature is our new online course, which we've been filming. We've mentioned it in previous vlogs, but we've been filming it throughout the course of this year, right the way from spring onwards. And it's a really immersive course in naturalistic flower arrangement. It's really the course that we wish we had been able to do when we started arranging flowers. And I think when we started doing, at the very beginning, events and photo shoots and things like that, you know, we were, as everyone is at the beginning, like quite out of our depth. And we were sort of looking around for places to learn, you know, the skills and techniques required. And we struggled to find ways to learn a more naturalistic approach to floral design, rather than a very sort of traditional route.
Yeah. We were lacking in confidence. We wanted some guidance, but nothing too restrictive.
Yeah, or formulaic, sort of, you know, floristry by numbers type learning, we just didn't feel like that was for us. I did the first section of a City and Guilds floristry qualification, and I found it quite stultifying creatively, and the materials, just, you know, the combination of materials was it just wasn't what I was looking for. And this course we've put absolutely everything that we've learned from the last few years in running our business and growing our business, in terms of the techniques, but also the philosophy behind naturalistic floral design.
And it's really our way of sharing what we know about naturalistic flower arranging and why it's so incredible, and it's such... if you're looking for a way to reconnect with nature, and you know, so many of us we're living in urban environments and we're fast losing a connection to nature, and flower arranging, I mean, for us it's the best way to do that and to sort of find your way back to nature and learn more about it. So yeah, we're really excited about that. And as as we said, we've just finished filming. We've done 10 demonstrations in total, as Al said, covering really from the beginning of our sort of flower growing season here in the UK, so springtime through to Christmas. What was your favourite out of the 10? Hard to pick.
It's hard to pick, but actually I think it was probably the last one that we did in Wales. We called our demonstration wreath, which is a Welsh
I hope you pronounced
word.
that right. For all the Welsh people out there.
Wreath. You have to roll the R. I think that's quite important. Anyway, it was a wreath foraged with forage materials from the pine forests and the riverbank along the River Irfon, and it's such a beautiful place, and there's just the most incredible abundance of beautiful natural materials with amazing shapes and sort of moss dribbling down pine trees and incredible sculptural branches and dried seed pods. It's a difficult time of the year generally to forage because there just isn't the abundance and the colour of summer, so it's definitely a sort of less is more and making the most of what you have. Hiraeth
yes,
means it means it's a Welsh word for a longing for home. And Wales isn't our home, it's not my home, but it's my husband's family home. They've lived there for generations, and it's a really, really special place to me now, and somewhere that I also call home. And it's the word itself it's not translatable into English. It's directly, but it's a sort of homesickness.
It's almost a sadness.
It's a sadness, it's a longing for your homeland and for your kin. It's also to do with people and family. It's quite a special word. And the wreath, I think, was a sort of a very organic shape, wasn't it? It was gathered, as I say, from what we could find, and then spun into a very organic, naturalistic wreath, which is replicable for, Christmas. This was obviously late autumn, but it's very replicable for Christmas and even for a spring wreath. And I think wreaths are a really lovely thing to make actually throughout the year, not just as a festive decoration.
Well, it's a little sculpture.
Yeah.
A twiggy sculpture.
Yeah. So that was my favourite. What was your favourite?
Very special. My favourite was, I think I'm going to have to say Dixter. The Dixter arrangement. Because it was a lovely time of year, and it's just a really special one. So we talk quite a lot in the course about finding inspiration in gardens and how so much of our work is so often closely tied to a garden. It's tied to the garden where we grow our flowers, but it's also, gardens are somewhere where we've always gravitated towards going to see different colour combinations, how different plants are grown together, look at how landscape designers work and how they put plants together. And obviously we're incredibly fortunate that we live in England, and we have some of the most beautiful gardens in the world, and we have this incredibly rich flower growing and garden heritage here. But even when we travel to other countries, Al and I always search out gardens. It's our first port of call, and it's where we feel full of ideas, and we want to go off and create arrangements that are kind of inspired by those places. And
where we find a lot of the varieties that we now grow.
That's true. Yeah.
We've discovered in quite a few of the gardens that we've taken inspiration from in the course, actually, haven't we?
Yeah, we've then gone on to grow the flowers grow the plants for cut flower use. But Dixter, Great Dixter, is obviously incredibly famous garden here in England, and it's one of those places that we go on a yearly pilgrimage. It's a bit of a drive for us, so we can't go that often, but we try to go at least once a year. And it's one of those places that you could just keep going back to over and over again, and you'll see something that you haven't seen before, or they will have changed the borders, or they'll be changing how the gardens look, and you'll just come away just fizzing with ideas about how to do things. usually about colour, because they use really interesting colours, lots of clashing combinations, some things that you just think, oh god, that's, you know, I haven't seen that before, and it just sets you off and you're like, right, well, I'm going to try that, you know, in a small way, in a flower arrangement. So we did an installation. It's kind of an installation. It's an arrangement of pots that was inspired by the pots that they have that flank the main doorway at Great Dixter, which for anyone who's ever visited, you'll know that they often have they always have a planted display there, and they change it. I think they change it several times during the year. So it's groups of, they'll have the same plant or bulbs in different pots, and then they'll change that display so it'll look completely different in the autumn to how it looked in the spring. And we love using garden pots, so we had this idea to create a sort of entrance way with pots, and then cut flowers, and
that's a great. Sorry to
I'm just going on.
No, it's a great. It's actually a great installation that you could use for events.
Yeah.
You know, you could use it as at the entrance to a church for a wedding, or you know, the entrance to a marquee or a restaurant.
We do
We've done
use
it.
that.
Yeah, we've done it quite a few times.
And you can reuse the vessels over and over again, and you can put something in there that's compostable, or that you can reuse.
Yeah, you don't need to use floral
so
foam.
you definitely don't need to use floral foam. So yeah, that was my favourite, and it was June, early June. Incredible materials, great time of year.
Yeah, good choice. So that's a little bit of insight into our new online course, Back to Nature. It's available to enrol on now on our website, and we have a 15% off early bird offer, and all the details will be linked below.
And talking of discounts, we are also going to have a Christmas sale on all of our previous online classes, and we will share all the information about that in our newsletter, so please sign up to that, and also keep an eye out on Instagram. But otherwise, we hope you enjoy the rest of November, the run up to Christmas. Such a Christmassy time of year.
Busy making wreaths and making decorations and things.
Ordering trees.
Yeah, and so we will have another vlog
just before Christmas.
Yeah.
So we'll see you then.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you then.
See you in the next one.